complex. And we understand that pain in our jaw and in our head is really just a symptom. That's not, rarely is that the origin. And so we really need to look at that as the fever for illness. And from the fever, then you go look for the origin of that fever. And that's really, how we've evolved in this process. So we need to get away from the fact that everything's mechanical, that you simply put things in the right place, and the sun comes out, and the flowers come up, and it's all good. Well, no, it really doesn't work that way. And these people aren't crazy. It is complicated, and there are a number of factors that are involved in the process. Basically, all the things that stimulate your central nervous system, as we'll talk about. And that can be everything from the inability to breathe, OSA, chronic pain, anxiety, systemic inflammatory situations, whether they be of genetic origin or something that is acquired, and then, of course, infectious situations. So you've got to have a system to triage all of these things because, honestly, it really isn't all that simple. And we can't forget about the fact that sometimes pain in your face means that you have bigger problems. This is an article Dr. Anna Geisberg and Jeff Okerson talk about the fact that 38% of cardiac ischemia has a craniofacial pain symptom. And so we have pains in the face, that can mean bigger problems, and we really need to understand that. Craniofacial pain is a dominating symptom in 13% of the time without chest pain. So just because it hurts here doesn't mean that's where the problem is. In fact, that very often is the case. And in my experience in treating chronic pain, that's what I share with other people. But one thing I'm sure of is that in chronic pain, wherever they're complaining about, that's not where the problem is. And so the system of trying to integrate all these things, and the pioneers that put this organization together that we have the opportunity to share today, was based on, breaking ground. We're going to have the pleasure of hearing some real pioneers this weekend. And they understand these concepts pretty well. This quote by Arthur Schopenhauer, all truth passes through three stages. First, it's ridicule. Second, it's violently opposed. And third, it's accepted as self-evident. I think we're probably maybe at stage 2 very often for a lot of these things. And but with literature and understanding and reproducibility, we hope to educate. And that's really what this organization and what these meetings are all about. So what are we treating when we're treating craniofacial pain or chronic pain? Well, we're treating primary headaches, the migraine, the tension type, the cluster. What are primary headaches? Well, those are the headaches that are not of organic origin. Secondary headaches are the headaches of tumors and bleeding and this sort of thing. But primary headaches are the headaches where you get an MRI of your brain and it's normal. Okay? There isn't any pathology that's evident, and so therefore it's an inflammatory process, perhaps maybe musculoskeletal in origin. And, of course, we have the inflammatory conditions, the osteoarthritis, the overworked joints, the rheumatoid arthritis, all inflammatory conditions. In fact, when you get down to it, pretty much everything that we're treating is based in inflammation. So the chronic fatigue, the irritable bowel, the fibromyalgia, these are all what central nervous system breakdowns originated by inflammatory process results in this fight or flight response, or then lightening of our sleep, and then grinding our teeth. In Europe, they call that a microarousal. In U.S. and North America, we call that an arousal. Okay. So he has this flowchart. This is from his book, and he says, he says the literature shows that there's a stress component. Literature shows that there's a dopamine or a neurotransmitter component. Airway literature shows there's a component there. All affect this mechanism. What doesn't affect this mechanism is occlusion. And that's something that we really need to look at, because there's still people that think that occlusion has a factor in this equation, and really it doesn't. If we look at the charting here, where he explains that once the central nervous system is stimulated because of pain or because of lack of airway or because of stress, that you go through these steps with increased cardiac rate, EEG activity, increased suprahyoid activity. That's something I want to talk about. What muscles become activated when you have a alert to your nervous system? That then you take these two big breaths, and now you start to grind your teeth. Okay, those are the actual mechanisms. But this thought process that, gosh, I'm not really going to get into all that. I see they're grinding their teeth. I'm just going to make a night guard because that can't hurt anybody. That I think is so powerful. This piece of literature that he put together, telling us that, look, 4 out of 10 times the apnea, if a patient has apnea and you make a night guard, that 4 out of 10 times you're going to make the apnea 50% worse. So that thought process that, we're just going to make a night guard and we're not going to hurt anybody. No, you might kill somebody, okay? If you have a severe apnea and you make them 50% worse, we really got to understand that, look, whatever we stick in people's mouths, that's going to have an effect on their breathing.